Welcome back to Our Journey, Their Story. It's been a while since I had been on screen, and the last time was when we have visited KwaZulu-Natal. And we did amazing interviews of people, and we've decided on our channel that we got rather going to focus on the more positive side, where people's lives were healed, they found God at KwaZulu-Natal Mission, and that is what we've been busy with. And then Mama Zaan came back into the picture. She's quite a prominent figure in the book of Gerda Potgieter, A Journey to the Truth, the case of KwaZulu-Natal Mission. And I've read all about her and everything that went down, from the accusations, the News 24 headlines of, if you want to stop a cult, then don't buy Aqualay water and all of that. But today we have, and I can truly say it's an honor to talk to Mama Zaan, who was a key player in this whole saga, with us today. And yes, I think this is going to be a very interesting, straightforward, and I think from her side, a very brave interview, which I totally have respect for her. Mama Zaan, welcome to Our Journey, Their Story. Can you start with just give us a little bit of background on, how you got involved with this? Because as I understand is you grew up at KwaZulu-Natal and you were
Yes,
quite happy at KwaZulu-Natal, and then something started to go wrong.
yes. Basically, yes, I grew up on the mission KwaZulu from when I was still small. I started coming to KwaZulu in 1996. That was the first time I came here. I think it was in June to the youth conference. And then later on, I joined the school at Domino's Evite School since when I was in grade 5 up until matric. And then when I finished matric, I felt the Lord's calling and I worked at Akwele. And when I was at Akwele, the Lord also called me into his work and I became a co-worker at KwaZulu Mission. But then something went wrong within me spiritually, where I slowly but surely um, started doing things behind the mission's back. And then when I was outside the mission, things went from bad to worse. Because, as you know, when you are no longer in the Lord's hands, then the devil just takes you and plays around with you. So I started practicing witchcraft. I was going to the witch doctors and I was using muti. I was using all the things that the Lord had initially taught me that they were not right in his sight in his eyes. And then in 2019, it was around in the beginning of the year when I was called by Jimmy Stegan, who's also known as James Stegan. And then he asked if he could meet up with me. So I said, it's fine. What is it about? But then he said, it's with regards to the mission KwaZulu. He is really concerned because his uncle, Reverend Elo Stegen, is growing old and frail and he will die anytime soon. So his main concern is that he can see that slowly but surely the work is being taken over by the black co-workers, especially Lydia Dube, who seem to be in charge of everything and is now making decisions behind Reverend Elo Stegen's knowledge. And then I agreed to then meet up with him. He came to fetch me in my homestead in Esikawini, and we went to Bon Hotel in Richards Bay. That's where we sat and we started chatting. So in the conversations that we basically had, you could see that he also had knowledge of the things that he wanted us to talk about. And then he said to me, if I can help him get rid of Miss Lydia Dube from the mission Wasiza Bantu, because if it's not Anu Stegen that takes over the mission, then it must be him, but it has to be a Stegen that will take over the mission, because Uncle Elo is old and frail. So he said the only problem, or the problematic person, is Lydia Dube, because she seems to really be in charge of everything in the mission Wasiza Bantu. So he started by talking about the 136 million that is seemed to have been missing in the mission's account since it was given to Ndlela. So I agreed and I said, yes, I know about Ndlela. Ndlela did come to the mission, and sometimes we would go with Lydia Dube and take a lot of cash to Ndlela in Pretoria, which was not the truth. And then we started making stories, saying that I would sometimes go with Lydia Dube to some of the witch doctors in the Rustenburg, in Gwavuma area, and some of the witch doctors would come from Mapumulo area to come to Wasiza Bantu to practice all the witchcraft and do some cuttings on Lydia Dube's body. And you will mention that there's some co-workers that died here on the mission because of being food poisoned by Lydia Dube, which was also not the truth. But we wanted to put allegations against her so that she would go into prison. Later on, Jimmy Stegen brought into the picture a gentleman by the name of Von Schwartz, who was introduced to me as a private investigator. So as you know, when I was working for Akwele, I was also doing some bookkeeping for Lydia Dube's business in Kingscliff, the Kingscliff supermarket, and as well as one of the entities here on the mission Wasiza Bantu called Umphakathi Okhathazekile, the Concerned Youth of South Africa. And then when I left the mission, I went with some of those files out of anger, and somehow I just wanted to punish them because I've got no reason as to why I went with those documents. But then when Jimmy Stegen wanted some accounts from the mission, I then gave him the Ridna Trust account, Ekamanzi Springs, Mission Wasiza Bantu, Lydia Dube's business account, which is Kingscliff Supermarket. And then he gave those accounts to Von Schwartz so that Von Schwartz could go and investigate and see whether there was anything financially that would be linked to Lydia having had taken the money. Maybe, let's say, she's taken the money and it went through to her account, to Ndlela's account. So we were actually trying to paint the picture so that there will be some allegations that can be laid against her, because Jimmy's idea was that Lydia should be taken to prison, as she was known as a criminal and a thief and a person that was taking money without Reverend Elo Stegen knowing, which was also not the truth. So basically everything that I said about Miss Lydia Dube was because of the money that I was promised, R1 million by Jimmy Stegen. And I knew that there was nothing wrong that I could point and say, this is the wrong that Lydia Dube had done. So basically, I mentioned the things that were done by me, and I said that they were done by Lydia Dube, like going to the witch doctors, gambling. Lydia Dube has never gambled. But when I left the mission, that's the habit that I got myself into. And I know that later on, we painted her and said that she's addicted to gambling. So Jimmy concluded and said that some of the money, which is part of that 136 million, then Lydia used it for gambling, which was also not the truth. We were just trying to to paint a bad picture on Miss Lydia Dube. But then when Von Schwartz, the private investigator, came and tried to investigate, unfortunately, there was nothing tangible that they could get against Miss Lydia Dube. So after everything was said, some lies about rape cases that are happening here on the mission, and it was said that Miss Lydia Dube goes to the police and bribes the police so that they can just dismiss those cases, which was also not true. I've been here on the mission, as I've mentioned, since 1996. It's the safest place I've ever seen in my whole life. But because I was angry against the mission, and I was so jealous that the Lord was continuing to bless the work and the mission, and the work was growing. And I was trying to help Jimmy so that Jimmy can come and take over the mission. Hence, he had promised that once he's the leader and in charge of the mission, he will put me in a higher position. He even promised to give me a beautiful house here with my family. But basically, everything that was said by me, it was just lies. It was made up stories.
Mama Zan, this whole group that was conspiring against KwaZulu-Natal,
Yes.
with whom did you have contact? Was it only James Stegan, or have you met the others like Erika Borman? And, because that's a whole different kind of claims that they come with. As you've mentioned, the rapes and everything that you say is also not true.
Okay. I met a lot with Jimmy Stegan, and as well as Piet Botha. But with Piet Botha, we were communicating via WhatsApp and telephonic conversations, because I presume he was staying around in Pretoria at that time, so he was quite far, and I was here in Isikawini. So the person that I spent much time with was with Jimmy Stegan, and later on his father, Manfred Stegan. He also came to meet up with me in Richards Bay, and as well as at home. He came home as well, because what they were saying is that once Aunt Lydia Dube is put into prison, they were promising to take me to overseas, to the to the place where I choose to go to. And I had said I would like to go to Switzerland, and they offered to rent a flat, cover all my costs. And they were saying they were protecting me against her, because there was also a lie that was circulating that Lydia Dube has hit men, which was also not true. She's just an innocent person, really, that has never hurt anybody. And I remember another lie that was also spread was with regards to that Lydia Dube has 2 children with Reverend Elo Stegan, which is also a lie.
Mama Zan, thank you so much for your time. I must recommend you for your bravery, and God bless.
Thank you so much.